In this video, we're going to learn about the text function in Excel. Now, this is a very versatile function. It's used mainly for writing lines of text where you want some of the numbers or some of the other inputs to vary based on what you've put into other cells. You can have the text function format things in a couple of different ways, and I'll show a couple of them here. Now, let me give you the basics of using the text function. You start out by typing your equal sign. You type in the word text and hit the tab key. Then that starts you with your open parentheses and you're ready to put in your formula. And I'll hit the escape key a couple times to get out of that. Another way you can go to it is to go to the insert function and scroll through all the options here to find it. And you find the text function. So that's another way of bringing up the text function. So that's just another way. I like to start with equals, type the word text, and the bold text here says what is the value or the number that you want to show, or whatever else you want in there. If I say 0.25, that moves the bold section from value to format text. So now the function is asking, how do you want this formatted? And I want to show it as a percentage. So to format this, you'll start by putting an open quote. And that's how you tell Excel that whatever you're putting here is not going to be showing in the formula. It's going to be explaining to Excel how you want things to be formatted. So I'm going to type a 0.0. That will give me one digit before the decimal place and one digit after. Then I put the parenthesis in here, and that's exactly how everything is going to show up. So I hit the close quote, close parentheses, and hit enter. Now it shows 25.0%. Let's delete that and try again in a different way. Type equals text 0.25, comma, open quote. Now I could just use the pound sign and then the decimal place and the pound sign and the percentage. Close quote, close parentheses. And now, because there is no number after the decimal place, the pound sign says, okay, there's no number there in your value, so we're not going to show anything. So you can use that pound sign as kind of a wild card. Now the reason this is useful is, let's say that I want to have a line of text talking about a percentage, say 25%. Same way we do a formula, because I want the text on the text to reflect a number that's going to change. So do equals sign, open quotes, and then we're going to type here is the 25% of the total number. Doesn't really matter what the sentence says, we're just using this as an example. So that's just a sentence, but I don't have 25% showing. So I'll just put 0.25 there. I'll go back to this particular formula, and if I hit F2 to open up the formula again, and I'll scroll back here to where the 25% shows up. I hit the close quote ampersand sign. Now that tells Excel that we're no longer playing with text, but we're going to put a formula in here. So I start with text, open parentheses. What's the value that I want? Well, I want whatever happens to be in this cell. So I'll click on that, and you see A1 is selected. I'll hit the F4 key, which locks both the column and the row. So it doesn't matter where I move the sentence, it's going to make an absolute cell reference to A1. Then I hit comma, and then I'll delete the 0.25% because that's not going to be important anymore. Format text, I want to be a percentage, open quote, 0.0. I like that 0 behind the decimal, but you don't have to have it. The percentage sign is very important. You want a percentage to show. Close quote, close parentheses, ampersand, and the open quote sign. So now you've got two phrases of text, the formula in the middle, then another phrase of text. Hit enter, and the sentence says exactly the same thing as it used to say. But say this now needs to be 0.35%. Notice the sentence changes. So I could say 0.7895. It rounds it to the first digit because I have only one decimal place showing. So it's going to round it to that last one. So instead of saying 78.95%, it says 786. And if I wanted more decimal places to show, then I could go in here and put more of those in there. Or I could just put a pound sign there. Only one of them. Let's do another one. Every time I get into the cell, I hit F2 and that opens up the formula without having to click up in here or anywhere else. So that's how that text function works there. Now you can do this not just for percentages, you can also do this for other kinds of numbers. For example, let's say I have the number 1000 here, and I want a sentence with the number 1000 in it. Equals, open quote, there are, so we'll just make this one sentence, there are 1,000, close quote, ampersand sign, hit that one, hit F4, so I lock it, so it's an absolute cell reference, and I'm going to hit the ampersand sign, open quote, period, close quote. Notice I did not put the text formula in there because I want to show you something. Doing it this way shows you exactly how you have it formatted in the first cell. If you change the format of this number, when you click up here, it's not going to change it in the sentence. You have to actually use the text formula for that formatting to take. So you come in here, text, there's my reference, using the arrow keys on the keyboard, comma, format, open quote, I'll do the pound sign, then comma, 3 spaces because I want 3 spaces after the comma, close quote, and the close parentheses. Hit enter, and now I've got, there are 1,000 of these with the comma, but I don't have anything showing after the decimal place because in this format I don't have anything in there saying that I want something after the decimal place to show. So if this number were, say, 1000.25, it's not going to show up in my sentence. If you were to say 1000.95, it'll round up, as you see, to 1, but it's not going to show the decimal place unless you tell it to. By going back into the formatting section, and decimal place, and put something after it. And if you use the zeros, it's much more specific. And 2 zeros, I want to show 2, and that shows 1000.95. So you can come back to this number and say, now there's going to be 1,000,000 of them, and however the number changes, the text function updates your sentence for you. So those are just a couple of ways that you can use the text function.